Okay, so we'll be working on the head now. What I've done here, excuse the excuse all of this stuff in here. So what I've done is I've used the scan that I've shown previously, and I've basically repositioned that, or I guess replaced the original mesh with this one, right? So now I have a clean topology, and now I can work more freely with this. I can work on the eyes much better, in a much better way, in much more efficient way, because everything here is now polygons that I can move, that I can smooth, instead of struggling with chaotic and almost randomized topology, flow of geometry, right? So, and the head, I can, not the head, but the mouth, I can open the mouth if I so intend to. Obviously this is not the likeness, right? Like I said, I've just replaced the previous version of the head with this one. So now it's the time to actually try and capture the likeness of Lex, and keeping, of course, in mind that this is not a one-to-one recreation of the real person. This is stylized, right? This is going to be not a caricature, but it's going to be a stylized version of the person that we are familiar with. There's also texture on the head, right? We can turn it on. So this is not looking like Lex at all. It's actually quite funny, the expression of this face, the way it turned out. But it's just an option, and as I mentioned, I can always replace this texture with something else, right? I can modify it in Photoshop, blend them together with the textures from different scans, and just apply that on the final version of the head. But for the time being, I'm going to hide some of this nastiness in here, so I don't get distracted by all of this, something as wild as that. So I will be working just on the head. I have in the background my reference, and here I've also put a reference, as a reference, a piece of drawing, I suppose, of Lex. And the reason why I put it in here is because I wanted to I guess I wanted to find out what other people see in Lex's head structure, right? So when we sketch something like that, and we make a simplified version of somebody, we are naturally looking for things that stand out, the things that make the person, everything makes the person unique. I'm just trying to say that the things that stand out on the person, that without additional elements, just by looking at those few, we can tell who the person is, right? So I was curious to find out what others saw in Lex, and to me personally, I think it comes down to the shape of the head, right? The shape of the skull, and the expression of the mouth. This is very common. I think this is Lex. If you, for some reason, if you're watching this, this is purely professional, okay? I think this is the way Lex smiles. I saw it many times on the photos of him. This kind of expression, right? Tight lips, right? And at the same time, there's a deep in here that goes this way. So it's almost like a bird, like a silhouette of a bird. So we definitely see it in here as well. And the other thing is the nose. The nose is quite prominent. I would say there are just interesting things going on here. The separation between the nostrils and the cartilage at the front. So that's very nice as well. We definitely see it. Some of that see it in here. And yeah, like I said, the whole structure of the skull is just is the thing that's going to I think, help the likeness when it comes to Lex Fridman. So with those observations and preparations, I'm gonna go dive right into it. There isn't much I can speak here about the process, because if this was a somewhat of a tutorial, the format that I originally intended this video to be in, I would explain the tools, the process, and all of those things, but I just want these videos to be engaging, and so I guess we can just watch together what is taking place in here. But basically, this is a very early stage of the process. This is where I'm moving elements into position, again using the images I've gathered online, using them in the backdrop, creating some landmarks, something that might be unique to that person, the person that I'm making, fatty tissue, muscles, bone structure, right, things like that. So eyelids, even those kind of things, they're just something that helps with the overall look. And this is the it's a good thing that the brain, and this me again just speaking out loud, I suppose, or thinking out loud, I suppose, I think it's a good thing that the brain, when we get into something that interests us, the brain just blocks the well, everything except for the process, right? Because looking at it now, looking at it in the recorded form, I can tell, or I can see just how plain things are looking, right? Just how boring things are, not in the sense of the process itself, but in the sense of the result. And so I think if it wasn't for this engagement, probably after a minute I would just just give up and walk away. But yeah, it's a good thing that we during this process we can just fall through some other reality, and we can't really tell what is happening. We just engage in the process so much that we just want to do things, right? We want to continue no matter what. But being an observer of the whole process, it's quite something. I don't want to say there's nothing special, because all of this is very special. It's all magic taking place, literally creating things literally from nothing into something. Although all of this is just pixels on the screen. That's me being very cynical, but the process itself, it's magic, right? It's just that when you step away and you look at from the outside and you see the results, just how much in the process is actually not so good, right? The end result is the accumulation of all of those things that are actually good among the things that are not so good. So out of 10 strokes, perhaps one is actually the one that you want to keep, right? Out of all the movements to the proportions and muscles and the structure, it's just a few that actually stays there. The rest are just go away. This is where I've managed to push the head of Lex. At this point, I'm a bit blind to what I'm doing. I've spent not that much time. I think it's just in total a couple of hours, but this is still nonetheless enough of a amount for me to go a little bit blind on something, to get some blind spots developed. So what I think needs to be done next, what needs to be fixed, is the I need to reduce the bumpiness of it. It felt at first when I was almost done with this, it felt a little bit too simple, too clean. So I went with clay brush, and I've, with intensity literally set to 1, I've made some strokes like that to add some variation, some interest to the head, some almost like fatty tissue, something to make it a little bit more alive, I guess, a little bit more dynamic. And I think I either went too far, or I need to simply connect those bumpy things a little bit better, because they kind of stand out individually almost. The ears are quite strange. On my model, they are very, very messy, very interesting interesting in the sense that they don't look like normal ears. But to be fair, having examined the pictures that I've managed to find of Lex, I think there's something with his ears either. It might be due to his martial arts practices, right? He's doing jiu-jitsu. I'm not sure if that affects the ears, the cartilage, when somebody just grabs you and squeezes the ears and rubs the ears. That might happen, but still, I think it doesn't really look that good. It's just it looks like from a different model, right? So I need to do something with that as well. But nonetheless, this is what it looks like with the texture. So remember, this is based on a scan, so I can use any texture I want. So for example, it's just a fun experiment. We can assign this texture, for example. So now he's all of a sudden a different character altogether, right? And yeah, like I said, I can assign any texture. I can modify anything that I want or that I think fits better. Some of it is a little bit misaligned. For example, we can see on the ear, this is just off. Something with the eyes as well. This is because I've modified the model quite a bit, and the UVs, they were unchanged, so I need to do something about it. But this is purely for presentation, for me to see where I went with this character, right? So the the eyebrows are just a little bit extreme. This is the unchanged version. This is what I've done in Photoshop first, and I didn't realize that it was so bushy. Let me see if I can find the right texture first. Right, I don't remember what I put the texture, but it's on Polypaint anyway. So I've literally just squished the eyebrows, and this is what it looks like. I also have some eyes on the model, and the body is in here as well. So we can turn on the very simple, very basic texture for the eyes, very simple material, just to get some highlights and the reflections. And overall, I think this is working. There's something off about him, definitely. He's more rough looking than what he is in real life. He's a little bit too beat up in my version. There's something that I do like about the eyes. I do like this kind of sad look without doing much with the eyebrows, right? Without doing anything with the expression itself. It's just that I guess it's the position of the eyes themselves, the eye holes. So they are sloping this way, right? They're not purely horizontal. They're going this way, which creates this sad look, which I think it captures Lex pretty well. I'm not saying that he's a sad guy, but I think of everything that I've heard of him or seen of him on YouTube, I think he's very he can be quite serious, and I think he can take things a little bit too seriously. So that's definitely will take a toll. That's not some kind of critique. That's just my observation. And so whether I like this look or not will depend on what I want, right? But for the time being, this is where we are. This is what it looks like with the body as well. It's stylized, obviously, very, very stylized, but next thing is I need to probably push the stylization a little bit more, because even though this is more or less the style that I like, this is more or less what I do professionally or just for my personal things. I want to see if I can modify something in here, because it's just something is off, right? So I need to come in here with my fresh eyes, with a fresh mind as well, and see what I can do here. Maybe change the proportions of everything, right? Maybe make him a little bit leaner, maybe make him a little bit longer, or higher in some sense. Maybe squish the head and make it a little bit more prolonged, like that, right? Something that I've mentioned in one of the previous chapters, to make him a little bit more like Donatello, or I guess work by Donatello, right? Something like that, a little bit more longer, like that. We'll see. For the time being, I guess I'm satisfied with the fact that I've managed to capture the bigger shapes and with the texture, even though I wasn't using photos of Lex to make this texture. This is from another scan. I just combined it. I just took literally two textures and combined them together to get the stubble, and then to get the right eyebrows, so I guess at least the thickness and the style of the eyebrows, and that's about it, right? Everything else is definitely not Lex. I didn't even examine at this point his skin and his skin color, anything like that, right? But still, with the texture, with this basic texture, I think he's getting there. Let's put it this way. He's not Lex in my opinion, but I think he's getting close. I just need to make him a little bit younger, a little bit less beat up, and then we can talk a little bit more about, I guess, the style, and move on to other things like his suit and accessories and all of those things. This is where more or less I've stopped working on the head, because I just got stuck. Even though there are some things about it, about the model, about the sculpture, about the digital sculpt, that I do like. The cleanliness of it, I guess, the line work is pretty good. It's just that in general, first of all, it doesn't really look much like Lex, and just overall, it looks generic. I guess that's the best way to explain it. It just looks generic. There is no character in here. There are just some nicely executed, nicely done lines. Just the execution itself is pretty good, but in terms of character, in terms of life inside the actual bust, inside the actual model, there is none. Right, the texture helps a little bit. It sells the look of Lex, with the stubble, with the mouth and the eyebrows, but it's definitely not Lex. And like I said, at this point, I was just I got stuck and I didn't really know what to do. And the next thing that happened is something that happens. I guess it happens if you allow it to happen. That's probably an accurate way to express this. So this is what happened, right? I get a little bit wild sometimes when I get stuck. I just almost in some kind of in a flight of desperation and madness, I take the tools and I just do something wild, right? So what I did here is I literally made a big stroke with the move brush, right? So I just extruded things this way because like I said, I got stuck and I got frustrated, so I was just doing that, right? And that's pretty funny as well. So when I did that, immediately I sensed life in here, even though it's very disturbing looking, right? The forehead is protruding. It's not even this stereotypical caveman look. It's just something else, right? The eyes are far apart now. But that's the thing about it, though. It's just that there's more interest in here. It's no longer generic. There is something alive going on in here. And so what I've decided to do next is basically take that, right, this big change and try to balance it out, and at the same time looking at what can be done in here to bring everything into place, so to speak. So that was the next stage. So before and after, and looking at it now, which is kind of strange, and this is me speaking from the future, by the way, again. Looking at it now, there's an argument to make that this version looks more like Lex, right, than this one. But to me, this version is more interesting. There's definitely now not just stylization, but just the overall stylization. I mean the kind of execution of the stylization of the execution. But there is just overall, this is looking more interesting, I think. Right, and at the same time, I've made some simple hair at this stage. This is very, very basic model, literally a 3D model. That's not a scan, not even a scan. That's not even a sculpt, right? Just a very simple model, so I can get the sense of the character even more. And so with the texture, with the eyes, with the base for the hair, I've started to just continue with this look, right? So again, before and after. So there are just a few more iterations of the head. This is all recorded, but I'm not going to show it because it's just kind of tedious process. It's refining things, right? So one by one, and look at this section, right, at the mouth, and this is something that I've mentioned in the analysis of the reference, is the shape of the mouth and just the overall. Well, not overall, but the common expression that Lex has, and this is the expression that I went in the end. So it's the tight lips, right, and this kind of bird-looking thing in here. So by bird, I mean like that kind of a thing, right? This is a bird, quote unquote. So this is the next stage. Then refining some more, squinting the eyes, just making them a little bit bigger, but going farther and farther. And I think there's no change in here. So this was the final look, and without the texture, this is what the model is like. There's plenty, maybe even too much of the stylization in here, right? All those lines, the ones that I actually, when I was talking about the body, something that I was saying that I don't like, and this is not what organic shapes, to me, organic forms consist of. But as I've said here, I was stuck, so I was using different tools to help me move along, right, with the process. And in the end, some of this was left out, but after making the expression, most of this was smoothed out, and with the texture, it actually looked pretty good.